Alan
Hi, it's Alan.
in Los Angeles, California. How are you?
How you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you guys?
We are great. This
Great.
little experiment appears to be panning out. So
Yeah, we are
Nice,
doing
nice.
ghetto TV today.
All right. So when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time in hospitals, and the doctors were always quite serious and rational. That was refreshing because I never had a reason to distrust them. Whenever they said I'd be feeling better, I usually ended up feeling better. But I'd spend most of the time with the nurses, and they used to tell me about God and Jesus, and it would make me so angry. I mean, like, how could they abdicate their duty to some imaginary man? I know that a lot of hospitals are Saint Enter the Blank children's hospitals,
Sure.
but I feel like they were trying to indoctrinate me by exploiting my pain.
man,
should
you think that's bad? Let me tell you, a friend of mine, very recent experience. She's epileptic. Okay. She went to a hospital here in town that shall remain nameless, except to say that it's South Austin, and you should never go there if you're sick with anything, because it's staffed by morons. A neurologist at that hospital recommended to my epileptic friend that she do past life regression therapy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I am not shitting you. It's like, and I told her, I wish I could have been there.
Yeah.
Because you would have seen the ultimate Simon Cowell moment where I tear this woman in half and basically ask her to her face, how does someone as stupid as you get to be a neurologist in a hospital?
Yeah.
I wish I could have done that. So if you think your experience was bad, a lot of hospitals are God-soaked and woo-soaked. And look, it's great if a hospital wants to have, say a chaplain on staff, or someone for their religious patients who want, for the sake of the comfort of it, to have a little bit of counseling or someone who will come in and pray with them and what have you.
Yeah.
But what happens at South Austin is the chaplain just makes the rounds, whether you ask them to or not. And okay, on the one hand, sure, they're being nice, visit all the patients. But then they, ask little prodding, religious questions, and it's kind of rude. You think about, well, why are you asking me how is my faith holding up? Why do you assume that I have share your beliefs or any beliefs at all?
How
it's just
old
presumptuous.
were you? How old were you when this was going on, and what were your beliefs at the time?
Well, I always grew up in a secular family, so I never really found a reason for religion. And then when they would talk to me about it, it would just, I don't know, it would just make me so upset. Because, like...
In what way? I'm trying to get to...
No, like, they would always say, like, pain is caused by the devil and stuff, and that it's okay if you feel bad now because it's going to be okay later if you were a good person and going to heaven and stuff like that. And it was really scary.
You had nurses saying this to you?
Yeah.
And did nobody complain about this?
I mean, I never really told anyone about it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. If you're a little kid, you don't really feel like you have a right to complain when grown-ups say things to you. So you're right. I mean, it was very unfair for you to be put on the spot like that by an adult who was kind of...
But do I have a right to feel victimized, or am I misplacing myself?
I think that... I would say that you certainly have a right to be irked and angry about it.
You have a right to your feelings.
Yeah, you obviously do. I think that perhaps you could... Again, a lot of this kind of to us, it's a great deal of insensitivity when people do this. But we also kind of, on the one hand, have to say, all right, listen, I don't want to be reactionary about it. And this person is saying this to me because they sincerely believe that it's a kind and good thing to say to me. And they're not saying it to be like, haha, screw you, you mean atheist. Well, God will show you. They're not doing it to be insulting. And a lot of it is just cluelessness on their part.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's kind of an innocent cluelessness where they're devout believers, and that's how they live their lives. And so for them to just talk to someone about, oh, well, I know you're hurting and it's really bad, but that's okay because your guardian angel is looking over, whatever kind of crap they say, right? And you're sitting there seething going, God, don't insult my intelligence like that. Well, again, to them, and I know it sounds like I'm making excuses for them, but they kind of don't know better if they've lived in that life.
In most cases, they have the best possible intentions, and they think they're doing what's right.
Yeah.
You have a right to your feelings, and you certainly have a right to feel victimized to some extent. I mean, and I don't want to speak for Jeff D., but this is the one particular area where that outrages him, and it outrages me as well, especially when you have adults
Adults and kids
imposing this upon kids
who aren't equipped to respond.
Now,
All right, well, thank you so much. I'd like to let you get on to the next caller.
well, I appreciate it, John.
All
Thanks.
right. Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah. But to say again that those people, just to be nice and say, oh well, they have good intentions and don't be too offended by. At the same time, yes, it is offensive, and so perhaps this is where, like Dawkins with his consciousness raising meme that he keeps talking about. This is what maybe that kind of consciousness raising will lead to. People go, oh, okay, well, I didn't realize that what I said was offensive to you, or
In some cases, for some denominations, they don't care if it's offensive to you.
Yeah, I mean, the more fundamentalist they are, they don't. Yeah,
they got the truth, and you need to know it whether you like it or not. And to those people, those are the people whose face I will get into.
Right. The higher the fundamentalism level, the higher the sense of entitlement.
In Ray's book, he quotes something Penn Jillette said about a guy who came up after the show and gave him a Bible, and this quote's made the rounds among apologists because Penn made a point which several others of us have made before too. If you sincerely believed that I have a soul and it's in trouble, how much do you have to hate a person not to tell them about it? There's a difference between caring enough about a person to tell them what you think is real and trying to push this down the throat of somebody who clearly has no interest and doesn't share. If you come knocking on my door in the middle of the night to tell me that my house is on fire, I'm going to thank you. If it turns out
it's on fire,
it turns out my house isn't on fire, I'm probably still going to thank you, and kind of leave it at that because I don't want to be a dick. If you are knocking on my door and waking me up every night to tell me my house is on fire and it's never on fire, I look and I don't see any fire, and then when questioned on it, you say, well, it's not on fire now, but it will be eventually, and I just want you to get out now.
You're a dick.
You're a dick.
You're a dick.
And I have no problems telling you.
A big swinging dick. That's what you are.
All right. And now we've made sure that we're not putting this show on ACTV. Who's next?